Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. This is one of the all-time greats. Released back in 2006, this is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Tourbillon in stainless steel with precision surpassing a chronometer. This was an unheard of price point within the tourbillon segment during a decade defined by tourbillon watches that grew ever more expensive and unwieldy. This watch remains relevant even today because at 41.5 millimeters in steel, it wears easily on an average sized wrist. It's only 12.7 millimeters thick and 49.8 millimeters from lug to lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. And when I throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears easily. I could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. It's fairly thick, but then again, given what it is, a GMT, a calendar, a tourbillon, and an automatic, perhaps it's not that thick after all, and it'll easily fit underneath the jacket cuff, so you don't have to worry about the shirt. Taking a look at the strap, you can see navy blue. It is a Jaeger-LeCoultre factory strap in brand new condition, made by Camille Fournet in France, the OEM supplier to JLC. Calfskin on the bottom, large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top. It's a lovely navy blue, maybe a shade lighter than navy blue, with some bolstering to give it thickness, a monotone stitch, and a folded edge. You can also see that it is a new JLC factory strap, which means it has pull-tab spring bars, so you can easily remove it from the case. And you can also see that the case lugs are drilled fairly close to the case profile, but there is no impediment to the motion of the strap. You can pull it straight down a small wrist. JLC made no bones about giving flagship watches full deployment clasps back then. Today you see even some precious metal complications with pin buckles. Back then you got a full double folding polished steel clasp to prevent you from dropping your watch while you are donning it or removing it at bedside. This case was used on almost everything by JLC in the 2000s. Dress watches, sports watches, tourbillon, dive watches, perpetual calendars, Memovox, which means it's a familiar shape and it really only changes in size. The proportions don't change all that much. It's all of high polish. It is made of steel. The lugs are actually quite spare and narrow when you view them head on. And they have a little bit of a transitional bevel on the side that's easy to miss, but it's there. The crown is JL branded and sharply knurled. It is a push-down crown. The watch is 50 meters water resistant. Then we have a conical bezel that's slightly set back from the case band just to break up the impression of a thick case a little bit. The dial is silver with a sunburst motif that radiates out from the center. Now outboard we have a radial date and we have this little lunette indicator in blue. And if you look carefully, you can see that there are actually little blue indices flanking the tourbillon on both sides and then the index up at 31. Now the watch was designed with a unique system that ensured that overnight, as we transition from the 15th to the 16th, the indicator will jump all the way across the tourbillon in that single night, so it never blocks your view of the tourbillon. The minute hand can't do anything about that, but the calendar indicator will not block your view of the tourbillon. So you have that quick set system for the calendar, but take note that we also have a 24-hour dial up at 12 o'clock, and it has an AM-PM that's split by two different versions of guilloche, which is quite beautiful. There's also a polished chaptering surrounding that subregister. That's your second time zone. Recall that in addition to being able to advance and retard the date indication, you have the ability to set that local time independently. So that's how you set the watch to two different time zones. The watch is loomed, and I'm going to show you that real quick. It's fairly well loomed for a dress watch. All the indices are loomed. And then we have what are known as alpha style hands, and here they're half frosted to make for better contrast against the dial base. We have bi-Arabic numerals 9 and 3. We have all applique indices and numerals to give the dial a more upscale look. And then we have a cutaway for the tourbillon. I'll get as close as I can without corrupting the focus. But the tourbillon is a revelation. It weighs only 1/3 of a gram, and it has over 70 parts. It's made of titanium and is ultralight. It is a 1-minute tourbillon, and you can see one arm of the tri-spoke has been extended into a little spade-style index, so you can use it as a seconds display. The finishing of this watch is finest on the actual tourbillon bridge and tourbillon cage. So what you see from this angle is entirely hand-finished, including mirrored bevels, satination, and fired blue screws. Also, something you rarely see on JLC watches, it has a Breguet overcoil, so in any position, it's going to keep very good time. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it's free sprung, so all the adjustments are done using variable inertia bolts on the balance. This watch entered and won the 2019 Concours de Chronométrie. It defeated monster complications, including Jaeger-LeCoultre's own Gyro Tourbillon 2. The total annual deviation calculated during the competition for this watch would have been a gain of 47 seconds in a year. And that's a mechanical watch. So this caliber 978 is a championship winner. And again, even JLC's own Gyro Tourbillon could not defeat this movement. Turn it all over, and you can see it looks a lot like the 975 and 976 auto tractors on the reverse side. So we have a 22-karat mast, which is reassuring because you see a lot of 21 and 18-karat and even tungsten rotors these days. JLC wasn't pinching pennies back in 2006. It pivots on 33 joules. You can see, because it tells you, it beats away at 4 hertz, and it's nicely done, but it's more workmanlike than truly handsome on the reverse side. All of the action in terms of high horology finishes right here. And you can see that we have linear Côte de Genève. We have both polished and fired blue screws. Then we have a variety of different finishes on the rotor with ceramic rotor bearings and unidirectional winding action, which is more efficient than bidirectional. It's been through the 1,000 hours control, tested for water resistance, shock resistance, power reserve, winding efficiency, and of course chronometry. And at Jaeger-LeCoultre, the standard for tourbillon watches is plus or minus 1 second per day. So it is a very accurate watch, even in the wild. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.